You're listening to E-Commerce Uncensored with Kevin Manel and Jason Caruso.
Hey everyone, and thanks for joining us on another episode of E-Commerce Uncensored. This is episode number 175. My name's Kevin Manel, and I'm here with
Jason Caruso.
And actually in the same studio
We are in the studio together, which is nice.
We are in New Jersey, which is kind of started out as the epicenter of the coronavirus. And
Actually,
now
New York did.
Well, New York, New Jersey.
Right.
Started out as the epicenter for the coronavirus.
And now we're doing really well.
Yeah. So we were bitching about everything happening on our states. Now we're kind of benefiting, but who knows?
Yeah.
We were going to take a trip to Maine, actually, soon for a trip.
We were? Or we still?
We are.
Okay.
And I have read up some of the stipulations on when you go to Maine. And for most states, you have to have a
quarantine.
You have
14 day.
You have to show proof that you have a negative test.
Right.
Unless you're from New York, New Jersey.
Right. A couple other states.
So anyway, besides the fact, today we have a really interesting topic to talk about.
Yeah. You guys know that I have I've been doing this Facebook course. If you go to ecommerceuncensored.com/truth, you can sign up and get beta pricing until I launch the course officially. But, for many years we've been doing Facebook ads. And the truth is that if you were to ask us why we were successful in the past, we really couldn't tell you, right? We were like, we come up with all these things. We're like, yeah, this, that. We really didn't know why we were successful. And then we became partners in this product, and in like 8 months, we're doing almost $1 million. And now we finally, even though we're running ads for our clients and we were successful and we've had success, I don't know that we can articulate exactly why we were successful. Long story short, I created this course, and I basically know now what you should be doing to be successful on Facebook, and that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, and I think you have to go through that natural evolution when you're doing things that we do as you learn more, as you see more. And like I've always said, since we started talking about this course, is like I'm glad we did it now and not before.
Yeah, because when it's funny because you're so lost when you don't know what's going on, and then like you finally figure it out and you're like, oh shit, like that's the missing piece, right? But we're going to talk about an email that I got from somebody in this course, and it's something that is really nice to get, and it's something you guys can learn from. But it
also brought up a question. So,
right. But before we do,
got to talk about Klaviyo.
We have to talk about Klaviyo. Now, one thing I will say about my Facebook course is that if you don't if you don't do email in conjunction with Facebook ads, as you start scaling up, it's going to be impossible for you to be profitable. It just is.
I mean, the Facebook ads allow you to get your message and your offer in front of a lot of people, but you need that back-end Klaviyo email setup to take it to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, we right now, what we've learned is like as you start spending $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a day, your ROAS for the most part will be between 1x and 1.5x. Where we used to be
not too glamorous.
But at those numbers, if you spend $3,000, you get back $6,000, or you get back, whatever, $4,000, you made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we ran an offer for 6 months or so, and then it ended the end of June, and that's when our ROAS. If you look at the ROAS for the last day of the offer, 10, 20x return.
Right.
That's when you get your return on your investment with the back end email, and Klaviyo is the only place to go.
Yeah, and the nice thing about Klaviyo is that our business partner said to us, he's like, now I know why you guys like Klaviyo. It's because they give you all the data that you need to make the right decisions. I think last month, 50% of our sales came from email. I mean, I think we had a record month last month. We did $205,000, and I think like $100,000 of that came from email. So, without email, we would have made half the money.
Yeah, and I've been really diving into a lot of that data too. And what they also do well is they explain to you how to use it, how to find it, And I've been exporting lists and segments, and you can get so much data pulled and into Excel documents that, you can really look at lifetime value, average order value. It's a really great tool. So you got to go to klaviyo.com/uncensored to sign up for a free account over there. That's klaviyo.com/uncensored.
Yeah, you got to go check them out. Okay, so as I said, we've been doing this Facebook course, and this morning I woke up to an email from one of my students. This happens to be the second email that I've received that has been that actually has been about the same exact thing with a different question on it. And Kev, why don't you read it real quick?
Yeah, this is really nice because since we've been disconnected in our own homes, you've kind of been like sending emails out. You've been communicating with the people in our course, and I kind of every couple of days be like, "Have you heard any feedback?" You're like, "Yeah, I'm getting emails here and there," but this was especially good. So here it is. I'll just read you the email. I tried everything in your course, and I got really good results. I've never had a profitable campaign, so I'm super excited. I only tested for 3 days and didn't really spend much, so maybe this is affecting the results due to the small sample size. On the 29th, it didn't seem like it was converting well compared to the 27th and the 28th. The audience size is about 1.3 million, and I was also disabling ad sets that weren't converting on the 28th. Should I be making adjustments on the budget so early? I will test more once I have more units in stock, blah, 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 as I'm running low.
Okay, so first of all, when you create a course like this, Kevin, and I've been trapped in my office at home, there's nothing better than to get an email from someone in the course that says, I've never been profitable until I took your course. This is the second time I've gotten this email. In fact, somebody else said that they bought the course, not necessarily because they needed it, but because we gave a tip on the podcast that made them profitable too.
So what, they felt like they had to give us some money?
They felt like they had to buy it just to say thank you.
That's cool.
Yeah, and basically it was the campaign budget optimization.
Mm-hmm.
He said that, the gurus say don't do it, but you guys said to do it. He's like, and I wouldn't have tried it if it wasn't for you, so I felt like I owed you guys. But
it's funny when we sit down and we think about ideas and we don't look at it so granular that like a little thing, it's not really a little thing, but like a small piece can make such a big difference.
Yeah, man, and it's interesting because you put a lot into creating these videos, right? I record the video, I have to edit the video, I have to upload the video, I have to then send the video out. There's a lot that goes into just creating one video, And you don't know really if it's helping people. I mean, I know that the information that I'm giving is good shit, but you don't know if it's really helping. So when you get an email like this, not to sound cliche or weird, but it just warms your heart a little bit because it's like what I'm doing is helping people.
And I think it's good about the way we're dripping it out, and it's like this beta test group. It's like we can get feedback, we can make it better, and we can make changes along the way.
Right. So I want to just talk a little bit about his numbers because this is where I think experience kind of helps. Number one, the guy spent $76.09. Okay? This is over a 4-day period. For that spend, he got back $331.90.
Yeah, almost a 5x return.
5x return. On the fourth day, he turned his ads off.
Because they slowed down a bit.
They slowed down a bit. Now, number one, if you spend $76 and you get back $331, $332, I don't care how long a period or how short a period that is, you start scaling. Slowly. But we never look at a 1 day period, right? Like you never say like, oh my God, my ads went down today, let me turn them off. We never say that. The least amount of time we will ever look at, the least is 7 days, right?
But would you recommend that he waits? Because I know this hasn't even gotten out of Facebook's learning phase yet. Like they're still evaluating, they're still optimizing the placement, and he's getting this return. Would you say to like at least wait the 7 days before he starts scaling?
I told him. I said, well, that's a good point. Honestly, my personal opinion is no. I'd wait 2 or 3 days. If I keep getting this return, I will slowly increase the budget. I don't really wait till the learning period is over. Some say you have to. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that you can also, if you're going to if you're a little bit tentative, I know he's not spending a lot of money. Maybe he doesn't have big budgets. There's other things that you can do, maybe just to see a little bit of a trend going on for that learning page. Like you can try to, tweak the things that aren't involved in Facebook, a landing page. Try to make it convert a little bit better, or an upsell process.
He's getting a 5x return. I mean, how much more? I mean, obviously it's working. If your ads dip for 1 day, I mean, Facebook's engagement from a day-to-day basis changes.
Oh, absolutely, and I think that's like I don't know what days of the week he tried here, but I don't know what days they are exactly, but you're going to see trends as you let the ad run. Like say you start on Monday, and Monday and Tuesday you have really high returns, like a 5x like he has. But then Wednesday drops off, and then maybe Thursday drops off a little bit. Wednesday and Thursday could be your slow days for the rest of your running campaigns.
Right, but you don't just turn the ad off because of that. I'm looking at this, and I don't really care that they're going down. What I care about is you've spent $76 and you got back $330 or $332. There is no way or any angle I could look at this and say, turn your ads off. If you can just make your money back and get better at what you're doing, that's the goal, right? Like, yeah, he made back 5 times his money. Like, why would you ever turn your ads off in that scenario? Well, number one, he's never been here before.
Right.
He doesn't know what he should be looking out for.
Even if you have those days where you're at the 5x and those couple days in between take you down to a 2 or a 3, and then you could see that trend go back up to a 2.5, 3 again, and then back down, and then you got to watch for that trend to have it level out a little bit before you even make a determination of turning something off like this.
Yeah, and I told him, I said, look, you have to see trends. I mean, you only ran it for 3.5 days or 4 days. Like, that's not enough time for you to see if it's working or not. Like you said, different days of the week will perform differently. We have days with our ads that they just don't work. We don't just turn them off, though. You got to let them play out. And if you're profitable, like he is, there's no reason to turn it off. There is no reason. And I think this is something that I think we've been also guilty of. It's like you get scared. You get like gun shy, right? You're like, oh shit, like it's going down. Let me, when really what you should be looking at is the body of work. What does this look like over an extended period of time? Facebook used to have this thing where like when you turned off an ad, it would say, hey, wait, don't do that. Over time, you're going to be profitable. And that's what you have to look for. You can't look at it like on a day-to-day basis. You have to look at it from more of a holistic standpoint, right? What did this do over a week? What did it do over 2 weeks? Now, if you're losing money 7 days in a row, okay, fine. The ad isn't working. But if it's working and then stops working and then works again, and then, like that's just the natural ebbs and flows of Facebook ads.
Yeah, several times, even with our business, I think Jared and I both will text you, be like, oh, it's a slow day. And you're like, well, it's a Thursday. Right. You're like, oh, okay. Or like one of our clients do the same thing. Well, it's a little bit of a slow day. Well, you can look, it's really crazy how once you have an ad running for an extended period of time, how you can naturally see how it's just the way it works. The ups and downs are there. It's just that steady increase over time is what you're looking for.
Steady increase over time, and they're going to wear out.
Consistencies.
Yeah, and they're going to wear out. I mean, I think for him, I would say, you have something that's working. That's number one, okay? Once you have something that's working, it's very easy to start scaling out. Like, okay, you don't want to touch these campaigns? Try a different audience. Mm-hmm. Same offer, same ad, same everything. Don't change anything. Just change the audience. right? It's real simple.
Yeah.
Make sure you're creating lookalike audiences. Make sure you're creating a customer list. Make sure you're doing all these things so that when you start spending the $2,000 and $3,000 a day or more, you have these audience to go after. This to me is amazing. I mean, $20 per purchase. I don't know. That seems.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many factors in place when you're running ads. I mean, now that I look at it, you're like he's going into a holiday weekend a little bit. He turned it off on the 29th.
Right, that's going into 4th of July. Our ads did shit during 4th of July.
No one cares about it right at that point. So there's all kinds of things you have to look at, and I can understand how you can get. I mean, I was the biggest gun shy guy, I had the biggest trigger finger of all of us when we first did this. 5 years ago when we started working together, it's like I would turn an ad on, or we would decide to create an ad in the morning.
You turned it on at night,
and then by the time I got home, and we were spending $10 a day just like this, $5 a day, just fiddling around with it to see what would happen. And I understand, but it's kind of like the game you're playing with this.
It's definitely a long game, right? Like we get caught up in it too, right? We want things to work right this second. But even in our business, we've noticed that there are certain months that are just better than others. Mm-hmm. One month we'll do 200K in a month. The next month we'll do 140K, 150K. I mean, that's $50,000 difference, but it's just what's going on. There's a lot going on in the news right now too. That's affecting things. That's depending on who you're going after, who you're selling to. That's affecting things as well. The news cycle affects what people are paying attention to. It's just that simple. I mean, going into 4th of July, no one's paying attention. They're thinking about, are we going anywhere? Do I have to wear a mask? Can I go to the beach? What states can I go to? I mean, there's a lot of things that go into that. So if you're in a position like this where you're seeing some sort of profit, the answer is let it ride.
Yeah, I mean, you got to watch. When you notice maybe you're going to the holiday weekend and you think things may go down, don't pause it. Just watch it. See what happens. So then next time you're like, okay, Labor Day weekend's coming up.
I know it's going to be a dip.
Right.
But, I mean, if you spend $76 and you get back $331, he's a long way away from even just breaking even. I mean, you're literally, before you would even consider touching this, you're at least 5, 6, 7 days out, right? What is he spending a day?
He's spending like $30 a day.
$30 a day.
Looks like he had 3 campaigns going at $10 a day a piece.
Right. Now, his cost of acquisition is $20.74. So if you're spending $10 a day, it's going to be like a day and a half before you see an order.
Yeah. And you're not going to make money every day.
You're not going to make money every day. That's another big thing. Yeah. You got to understand that every day is different, and every day isn't going to be as profitable as the day before. You have to understand that your ads are going to be affected by a lot of things. There's going to be affected by who's on Facebook, when they're on Facebook, what's going on in the news, what's going on in people's lives. I mean, everybody's target audience is different. They're all being affected differently. Maybe if you're selling to a wealthier segment of the population, maybe they're not affected by the economy as much. Whereas if you're selling to an audience that is a little bit less fortunate, maybe they're affected a little bit differently. I know for me personally, 3-4 years or 2 years ago, we would be affected a little bit differently by what's going on with the economy and COVID than we are right now, right? Like one of our businesses is definitely feeling it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
I mean, I think to the ad, I think I do believe in the learning phase of Facebook. And I think that when you initially have the success, Facebook is still testing things out. So maybe the 4th day, it tried something new. I'm saying it like this robot machine.
Yeah.
But like, okay, we're going to go after this other segment and see if they respond the same way that this first segment, because they're not always going to get it right the first time. You may have had like a few days that were really slow, and then they hit that next segment and it's like a bump. So it could go both ways.
Yeah, and that's a good point because, when you're new, Facebook doesn't know what a good conversion rate is or what a good return on ad spend is. Maybe you got 3 orders in one day. Maybe the Facebook's like, oh wow, let's try this other segment of the audience. Maybe you get 10 a day. They're trying. That's why it's called learning. And you're right. You know, for me, I tend to like scaling out. Like I may not touch this particular campaign, but I would definitely duplicate it and then try a different audience because I know it's working here.
Yeah.
I would definitely not turn things off. I mean, in this case.
Yeah, and then look at these audiences, like the purchase events that are happening, collecting that data on the pixel, creating the lookalikes, like you said, and going after similar people like that.
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, I think that's a good idea too. Scaling out instead of right at that specific campaign. Try new audiences and build off of it that way.
The other thing is you don't know what his settings are in this campaign. Maybe he's doing a 7-day conversion where the same people are getting hit with the ads over and over. Maybe you have to try a 1-day conversion window so the same people aren't seeing the ad over and over. There's a lot of things that could be attributed to this. But look, if you're profitable, if you're not losing money, this is not a time to be concerned at all. This is a time to say, oh shit, they're working. How do I scale this out without affecting anything?
Yeah, this is really cool. I kind of feel like a news anchor moving all these papers around.
Yeah.
Going through these papers that you gave me here.
I just, I love getting emails like this because, there's a lot of people out there teaching shit, selling shit. And for the most part, I feel like
we should try to learn a little bit more about this guy. I want to know more about him.
Yeah. For the most part, I from my experience, I don't think people teach the right things in these courses. I'm a little biased, but these, the stuff that I'm teaching in these courses, this course works. It works.
And how do they sign up, Jason?
ecommerceuncensored.com/truth. Get on that list. You'll get an email to, join the beta club, the beta pricing.
Beta. And Jason will drip the content to you. We'll get some feedback from you, and then once it's launched, you'll get the full module system full of the videos.
Exactly.
Then you got to go over to
Klaviyo. You got look. There's no secret in this, Kev. Without Klaviyo, we would not be this successful. Period.
Absolutely.
Facebook ads can only take you so far. You need a back end. You can make a little bit money on the front end, but the back end is really where you make your money, and the back end is Klaviyo. It's email. Dude, we have done Facebook and email. That's it.
Yeah.
Period.
So go to klaviyo.com/uncensored to sign up for your free account. It's klaviyo.com/uncensored. And make sure you subscribe to the podcast. We got some good interviews. We have Molly Pittman coming on next week. And then we have Lo Silva 2 weeks from now, who's a big influencer guy. So looking forward to those. So This has been episode 175. As always, you can check us out at ecommerceuncensored.com. And we'll talk to you guys real soon.
Later.